Our choices define us. Hello, friends. I am Nafisa Nazneen, blessed to be mother of a smart son, wife to a loving, talented, handsome, having a decade of working experience as a microbiologist, now turned a soft skill, life skill, corporate and public trainer, come speaker, and of course, a podcaster. I firmly believe that I am born to shine, and so are all living creatures. So, guess what? Today, I am extremely happy to introduce you all to my honorable guest for my today's episode, which is named as Educating, Mentoring, and Empowering. A beautiful person, proud mother, loving wife, an educationist, educator, and trainer with 25 plus years of experience in the educational domain. She had been the founder and principal of a leading CBSE school. She loves reaching out and empowering people. Her mission is to reach out to young parents on their journey of being effective parents. Wow. She is into, blogging. She's into YouTubing. She is also a marching author. Amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together when I am welcoming my guest, Mrs. Anju Arora. Welcome, ma'am, to my show.
Thank you so much, Nafisa Nazneen. Thank you so much for
You're
hosting
most
on my
welcome.
show. Thank you.
So, tell something about you. If I missed any point about you.
No, you said it right that I'm an educationist, I'm an educator, and I'm a trainer. And my aim in life is to reach out to the maximum people, especially young parents, those who are in the journey of raising their children. And this is, as you told, that I am mother of two girls, I'm mother of two daughters, and I'm a proud wife of a very supporting husband. And I enjoy life to the maximum possible.
Great, that's great. So, shall we begin with the question and answer session?
Of course, Nafisa.
All right. So, my first question to you is, tell us, me and my listeners, more about your journey from an educationist to an educator, trainer, and finally now you are into mentoring and empowering people, right? So
Yeah.
tell about your journey.
Yeah, Nafisa. If I have to start about my journey, as you told, I started as an educator way back in 1994, and continuing as a teacher, as an educator for almost 6 years. I ventured into the administrative job, and then I held the post of vice principal in a school where there was no principal actually.
Okay.
And then I ventured on to be the founder principal of a leading CBSE school. I had been there for 16 years, and this March, I have resigned from that profile of principal, because working in my job, throughout my career, I had been working with people, and people in the form of students, teachers, and parents. My job every time gave me opportunity to contact so many people, and every time I observed that a certain lot of parents, those who were born somewhere around 1990s, now when they are parents, they are struggling to settle the right values and norms in their children, especially post liberalization after 1991, when we entered into liberalization.
Okay.
The things and the whole social context and economic context has changed so much. Like the values that we grew up on and the way our parents handled, everything is now going haywire. And I could very easily see there the need to educate young parents, which of course I had been doing as a teacher. When we meet parents for the parent teacher meeting, we definitely share certain things with them. And then all along, I had been training my students on life skill. I had been training my teachers for many issues, starting from the classroom management to curriculum planning to how to handle the children in the classrooms, how to handle difficult children. I could see the need for the parents to be taken for the formal training, which I started in the school itself.
Okay.
And then finally, I thought, why not to give this a full-fledged time and change the side from being into the education directly from the front in the formal education system, why not to go on the side of the parents and try to do something for them? So I have just given a, you can say that I've taken up my calling. I've taken to my calling, and then I have thought of doing freelancing, doing some trainings and all that. And by the time I did this, this pandemic, this COVID-19 thing happened.
Okay.
I wanted to, I love going with the people, and I love face-to-face meetings, interaction, training, workshops, seminars, which I had been doing a lot. But when this pandemic thing happened, now there was no way to reach to people sitting at home. I thought of going for a YouTube channel, YouTubing, and making parenting tutorials for the parents, which I started, and which thank you so much, Nafisa, which parents have taken actually very much liking to. And then I sitting, an educator, an educationist, the people like us, those who are into teaching domain, we cannot sit idle. Then I started writing. We always have been writing, but now I started writing formally and started writing on the issues like education for parents, for teachers, life lessons, life issues. So I'm into blogging also this way. And the aim all along had been empowering people through what I have been able to learn on my journey, sharing it with the people, giving it back to the people. So this is how I ventured into this.
Awesome. So I guess that inspired you for your blogging and your YouTubing channel creation and your writing, right?
Yeah.
True. I mean,
I'm into so much of research also. I do a lot of research and then find out the findings, and I try to bring it forward to the parents, how this thing can help the parents. And of course, all along, I had been doing one course on edX, this family engagement in education. I completed this just last month.
Great. That is awesome. I mean, we as parents definitely be required, we millennials and, generation wise, we people do need all these things right now.
Of course. I have seen the need. I have felt the need actually.
Yeah, that is true. Correct. So my next question to you is, what do you like the most about your life?
Oh, this is a tricky question.
Yeah.
Nafisa, to be very honest, life had been pretty fair to me over time, though at times in short run, it might not have seemed that fair. See, I wanted to be a doctor. Due to whatever reasons I could not be, today I never regret not being a doctor, because what life offered me instead was more impactful. And I had cleared the prelims of UPSC way back in 1991 when I got married. And in the very first attempt, after 3 months of studies at home, I could not appear for mains due to personal reasons. I don't regret that even, because again, life was pushing me towards what I was best at. I believe so. I got married into a very small place, into foothills of Shivalik, into Himachal, where there were no opportunities. Actually, it was such a small place that we could not even get the transportation facilities to reach to our place. At times, we had to board the load carrying trucks. There were no opportunities to grow. So I decided to start as a teacher. Though it was not chosen, but since there was no choice, and since no other choice was available, I decided to be a teacher. But once I was into teaching, within few months, I had realized that what was perhaps I was designed for. And then I gave myself, my mind, body, and soul, everything to my being an educator. And in retrospection today, when I look at things, I can see the nature's plan to drive me towards my purpose. The fact that no setbacks could hold me back because I chose to make peace with past is what I like most about my life.
Wow, amazing. I resonate so much with this story. I mean, really, I also aspired to become a doctor, but then circumstances were like, I got into microbiology and I gave my 100% to microbiology, and now I am still with my field, but then, communicating with people. I was into pharma sector, but then there the crowd was limited, the people interactions were
Yeah, I
limited,
see.
and
I see.
then I am slowly expanding, reaching to people. So this is an amazing what you just now spoke about your
Yeah,
story
yeah,
is. And the good thing is that nothing can stop us. What we
yes,
love,
yes,
the universe is always ready to give us. We just need
yes,
to,
yeah,
ask for it. You
yeah,
ask and you get it.
yeah.
Of course, we need to do effort for that.
Of
Effort.
course, everybody has to put in the efforts,
Yeah.
but I believe nature has some bigger purposes for us, and directly, it takes us there. And I have never ever regretted not being a doctor or not being able to clear my mains of UPSC. I would have been something blah blah blah. Whatever I could do, the opportunities which are available to me, I grabbed them the most and gave my best to it. And that's the best thing. The life had been, overall, when I look back, the life had been very fair to me, and setbacks could not stop me. That's what I like about my life.
And you know what I like the most about your previous, I mean, just now what you spoke is that you are in complete peace with your past.
Of
So that is
course.
something amazing. Means I'm learning that it's a
Yeah.
really amazing thing. That one sentence has got so intense, profound meaning in itself. I mean,
Yeah.
you're something
It is, of course, we all have to learn to make peace with the past.
correct.
If we don't leave the past behind, we can't move forward too.
Exactly, absolutely true.
Yeah.
So my next question, after knowing so much about you, I just guess this must be the next question which I'm about to ask you is something I can assume what will be the answer. So let's see whether I am correct or not. Have you
Yeah.
found the purpose of your life?
Yeah, very much. The
Yes,
purpose
I
of
was
my,
expecting this.
yeah, I have found the purpose of my life. And the very purpose of my life, is to give back to society,
Wow.
multiplied many times what I've got from it.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
and this is not the only purpose. At the same time, I'm striving still very hard to exploit my potential and to be the best version of myself.
Great.
I wish to actualize myself as per Maslow's hierarchy.
So give me some tip to me and to my listeners how one can find their purpose. I mean, what do you think? Like, I have some thought process. Okay, if I do this or if I feel passionate about anything, that means I am good at that. So that becomes my purpose of life. That is how I feel. What you said, that I feel like when I am born in this world, I am not born only to take care of my responsibilities of the worldly thing, but I
Yeah.
have to give. I have to give. I'm born to give. So we need to give. That is what I feel like. And I have
Yeah.
started doing that.
Yeah,
So
of course. Everybody is sent into this world with a purpose. Though I must say, unfortunately, very few of us are able to see to that purpose.
correct, yes.
Yeah. So then you were asking about this, some tips that I can give.
Yeah.
Believe me, Nafisa, there is no sure shot recipe or I'm to say one size fits all kind of thing that comes when it comes to find the purpose of one's life. I believe it is often by hit and trial. See,
Correct.
I wanted to be the doctor and I landed being an educationist and educator. And I believe listening to your inner calling is can be one way to find out the purpose of your life. Like, see, if we talk about Gautam Buddha, he was born a prince, but he paid heed to his inner calling and found the purpose of his life.
Yes, absolutely.
Same way, if I think if we try to look at the signals that life is sending our way, what we call as life's omens.
Yes.
Fine. If I would have been a doctor, I would not be playing the role that I'm playing today. At times, we overlook the signals that the life is sending to us. And I believe there can be something that we all can try. If I look at myself in retrospection, when I look at the things, I can see the nature's plan to drive me towards my purpose. Fine. The fact that I would just love to share one particular thing with everybody that they can follow. that
Please go ahead.
yeah, this is something called ikigai.
Ah, yeah, I have heard about
Right? Ikigai is a Japanese concept. I am sure that you have heard of it.
Yes, yes.
Which tells you that when you work at the intersection of four things, namely something that you love, something that you are good at, and something that the world needs, and something that pays you. When you are working at the intersection of all these four things in your life, you are actually serving the purpose of your life.
Yes.
Try to find your ikigai.
Correct. Yes. I mean, absolutely true. I have attended a webinar of Ikigai, and I find it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. Means
that's so
it was
cool.
Awesome. Really. I mean, life transforming event that was. Actually.
Yeah, Ikigai, of course, is a very, very impactful and very powerful tool.
Yes.
To find the purpose of your life.
Correct. Yes.
And see how beautiful it is. When you're passionate about something, you love doing it. The world needs it. And you're making money. Your money out of it means your economic needs are also taken care of through it only. I remember my mother-in-law always telling me whenever I used to get ready for the school, so and whenever I used to come back, so she always complimented me. I'm just using her words. जब तुम स्कूल जाती हो तो भी उतनी खुश होती हो, वापस आती हो तो भी उतनी खुश होती हो, लगता ही नहीं कि तुम कोई काम करके आती हो, मुझे तो लगता है तुम पिकनिक मनाने गई थी.
Amazing.
Yeah, this is what I believe. When you enjoy the work that you are doing, you are actually on a picnic.
Exactly. Yes. Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on.
Yeah.
My next question to you is, this is very basic, but then I find it very powerful, you know. What's the difference between empowering somebody and inspiring somebody, according to you?
Okay. I believe when it comes to empowerment is something, this is an active case, I'll say, where you take leave to do something with an intention to make a positive impact, maybe in your own life or in others' life.
Okay.
And now when you come to inspiration, I believe it's a passive case where the choice of making an impact is not in your hand. Suppose, Nafisa, if you are inspired by, say, Simon Sinek, fine, who is an American author and motivational speaker, I believe you must have heard of.
Yeah, yeah.
Fine. The lead to make an impact in your life has to be taken by you. But if Simon Sinek works closely with you to raise some aspect of your life, it is empowerment. Like I'm inspired by Simon Sinek, VK Sister Shivani, Kumar Vishwas, and Sadhguru. One of them empowers me. I'm inspired by them. My family empowers me through unconditional support to let me explore myself. So this is how I see empowerment is something that you are doing consciously with somebody. And inspiration is that if I am drawing something out of you and doing it on my own. So there's that little subtle difference, but of course, empowerment is very empowering. You leave no chance. You take the lead and you get it done.
So it's something like very most powerful thing, I can say, right?
Yeah, of course, I do believe, yes.
Yeah. So you have a great vision. That is what I can say. Empowering people life is, that is itself something awesome thing.
I am just reading a book. This is Poor Economics by Abhijit V. Banerjee and Esther Duflo. Those who were the last year's winner of Nobel Peace Prize for Economics, right? You might have heard of them.
Yes.
And this book tells me actually, when we talk about the poverty and we talk about how to eradicate poverty, and we do so much of cash transfers and subsidies in the accounts of the poor, this book actually is talking about if you really have to make an impact in the people's life, you have to empower them. Giving money to somebody is not empowering, but educating somebody, maybe through push, maybe through some, you can say some pulls in the form of certain benefits. That is real empowerment. And the poor people are not poor because they do not have the money. They are poor because they do not have access to the empowering information which can change their lives.
Yes, that's true. So moving on to my next question. This is something I feel like tricky, you know. So you tell me one mantra of yours, how you empower people. I mean, just one. You can share one with us.
How do I empower people?
Yeah.
See, when I'm working with people, I try to observe the need that needs to be fulfilled so that they can be at their best. Very often working with teachers, students and parents, I have seen that they all are coachable, teachable. Somebody has to hold hands. So my way of empowerment is fill that need, that gap through knowledge, through trainings, through human resource development. You have to take an active part. You can't simply sit there and tell. You have to be personally involved with the person to learn that skill. That's my mantra. Take the active lead, active role.
Great.
And if you wish to say how people can empower themselves, then definitely I have something, if you permit me.
Yeah. Yeah, you go ahead. Actually, I was supposed to ask you the next question was what,
yeah, please ask.
Is what motivates and what empowers you? That was my next question, which you are about to tell.
No, I was just going to tell you, suppose people have to
empower
themselves.
Yeah,
fine.
please go
Then
ahead.
what people have to do,
Yes,
that all people, they must master at least one language. It can be any language. What I have seen and experienced being in education domain, that mastery over one language, Hindi, English, French, German, whatever it is must, because what we read, if we do not read it with the understanding at the deeper level, we are just reading it at the superficial level. And then when we are not able to absorb the meaning, it actually is making no sense to us, and it is not empowering. That is literacy. You know, in order to understand and apply in our lives, we need to have mastery on one language wherein we can read, understand and apply, and at the same time we can express ourselves with impact in the same language. Next thing, what I believe people all must invest in themselves is developing financial independence, which is real leveler, real empowerment. Then people need to know the legal recourse, basic legal rights, so that people cannot make fool of you around. Then people can empower themselves by consciously cultivating a mindset that says learn, unlearn and relearn. This is my philosophy of learning.
Yes.
The entire life. Learn, unlearn, relearn as per the need and context.
Correct. I also believe completely.
And you know, when it comes to empowerment, let me stress that we always say ignorance is bliss, but I will say ignorance is not bliss when it comes to empowerment. Knowledge is bliss. Knowledge is empowerment.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. So moving on, what motivates you? What empowers you? Any one thing you can share with us?
Okay, what empowers me?
Yeah.
The smile on the faces of the people.
Great. That's amazing.
Yeah, in the form of, you know, the people that I come around usually, fine, being in my domain of education, parents, teachers, students, a real smile on their faces. When you can see the change happening in their life, impact that you have made, that actually inspires me to carry on with my work.
Amazing. I mean, I feel like I'm talking to myself when I'm talking to you. You know, I have my episodes on knowledge, I have my episodes on smile, and I also love to see smiling faces. I myself, I smile a lot, and I believe that it's a saying from our Prophet Muhammad. He has said that smile is the free charity that we are giving to mankind.
Yeah, sure. And smile is the best ornament that you can put. And if when the people are putting them on just because of you,
yes,
you feel so happy.
It gives joy from inside.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like my soul is smiling if I smile from outside.
Yeah, you know, your entire being is in a state of bliss, and you are a happy person because you see the impact that you are making in the lives of the people, the difference that you are causing to them, and the empowerment that you are bringing into their lives for themselves for the future.
Absolutely. It's awesome. I mean,
Visible impacts.
yes, yes, true.
And I have ample cases to share. I have ample cases to share.
Wow. Share one at least.
Okay. I remember 4 5 years back, there was a boy in my the school where I was the founder principal, and that boy was with us from class nursery to, you can say, nursery onwards. The boy was with us, and that boy, that student, was not very good at the sciences subjects. But in class 11th, somehow that boy was, I must say, forced to take the science stream, and he was not able to make through it. And I was tracking the progress. I was in constant interaction and dialogue with the child. Why something is not happening? What is that bothering him? And of course, I could see that the science was not his forte, but he was studying it because he was forced to study. Down the line, almost when the boy was in class 12, half year down, he just gave it. He said, I can't make it, and he stopped coming to school. Just 6 months left for the boy to do his class 12, and I had been in constant touch with the parents over his progress, over his work, and I knew that boy, he was very good at drawing since beginning, because the child was growing with us. I knew what was his strength. I took a chance. You can say I took a leap of faith. I called the parents. I said, see, this is the situation. Your child says that he won't study, and you know that he's not coming to school for the last 10, 15, 20 days. Now, what plans do you have for him?
Yes.
And he says that he doesn't have to go for any sort of further science studies. He said, what do you have something to suggest? I said, yeah, I know that this boy is very, very good at drawing, sketching. You just sit in front of the child and he will draw such a beautiful portrait of you, such a beautiful sketch of you.
Oh.
I said, I am planning that this child must be provided support so that he prepares for the certain study, further study, future study into this domain, into arts, where he can exploit his potential and he can do something for his life also. And then we had a word with that boy. We sat down with him and we talked to him, and he understood and he agreed to that. Then I requested, you just have to do one thing, that you manage only as much study that you get the passing marks, score passing marks, you clear your class 12, and side by side we started helping him to prepare with the help of our career counselors in the school for the entrance examination for sciences and all that, drawing schools and all.
Why not?
And believe me, when the results came, that boy, he is now into perhaps third or maybe fourth year into this APJ School of Drawing at Noida.
Oh.
And he cleared class 12 just with 62 or maybe 63%, which is no issues. But he cleared this examination for drawing admission and APJ School of Drawing. And he was one among 200 students, those who got the admission over there.
Oh,
and that boy is so happy today. And that talking with the parent was the toughest part, to convince them that your boy is not suited for this. And now we have to change the course. And today also, when I get the call from that boy, and whenever we see the parents or the parents meet us, there are ample examples where we have been able to make the difference to the people's life by just, this was a sort of training for the parents, to show them how the children are different. All people are different. They have all multiple intelligences. We have to find out what our child is good at, and then to hold hand and let our child to go on that journey. This all is actually very tough, but at the end, when it materializes, it's an immense sense of satisfaction and the smile and the confidence on the face of that boy whenever he meets or whenever he calls. That's the reward itself.
Yeah, it's really rewarding and true incident of transformation and empowering. I mean, live example.
And Nafisa, and I'll just share one more case. There was a boy again in class 12, 3-4 years back. You see, the children, they are so confused, and the children are actually not very clear about certain confusions, their own sexuality, the issues bothering. And this boy asked me, ma'am, I had to talk to you. I said, yeah, please, you are welcome anytime. And he came and sat down with me, and then he talked about his own sexuality, that I feel I have the gay orientation.
Oh.
And I am so doubtful. If I talk at home, my parents get to know, I will be punished, this, that will happen. And then my job as trainer, as his mentor, as his guide, as his teacher was first of all to make the child easy with himself.
Yes.
Then to talk to the parents.
Hmm.
Because ultimately they will get to know.
Absolutely. Yeah,
These are tough things.
Yeah.
The issues which never were talked about are now being talked about in open. And I see that boy could trust me among all the people in this world.
Yes.
To talk about this sensitive issue.
Yeah, this is something, I mean, very, very private, I must say, very much personal.
And you see, he has chosen the principal of his school to talk about this. Why? Perhaps he was sure that this person will understand me, will not judge me, will not label me, will not punish me, will not shun me.
Yes.
And there are n number of cases, Nafisa, growing up with people, teachers, parents, children, everywhere. People have stories.
Yeah, exactly.
People have stories.
Yes.
People have stories.
Everybody is having their own stories, their
stories.
own incidents.
But if we are able to hold hand to show a direction,
absolutely,
we make a difference.
Yes, true. Amazing work you are doing, I must say. I mean, I'm proud of you that you are,
I would love to stress upon the, the principals are supposed to be very, very strict administrators.
Yeah.
Where the pin drop silence prevails. When the principal goes on the round, the classes go into pin drop silences. This is the traditional concept of school in the mind.
Yeah, but
no longer, at least as long as I was doing that work, I was in the job, I was in my profile, that was not the case. What is the meaning of the word principal? Principal means somebody who takes the main lead. Yeah. Somebody who initiates. And if somebody who initiates, definitely that person is leader. And if you can't lead people, people can't trust you, people can't confide in you, what job are you doing? And today I believe we are not just supposed to do the academic rigors and complete the syllabus and conduct the exams. We are into making the lives of the children, lives of the future. So we have to be open. We have to be listening to them. The time has come that we must put ourselves on their side and look at the life from their angle.
Yeah, absolutely. True.
This is what I believe.
Yeah, lovely belief you are having, I must say. So tell us something more about your upcoming programs, your courses, you're writing a book, about all those things.
I am actually, right now, since I'm into handholding of parents, I am working on a parenting program, which will be available digitally on platform D, which is Digital Excellence Academy of Learning. So right now I'm in the making of it. And I believe 2-3 months down the line, or maybe 4 months, because it takes time to create some content and put it online. But right now I am in the process of creating an online parenting course for the parents. And book, of course, it is in the pipeline. It is in the pipeline, but it will take some time to materialize, maybe a year or 2.
Beautiful things, they do take time. So we'll wait for that, no problem.
Yeah, of course.
And one last thing I would like to add on. I read your blog, which was on the eve of Teachers' Day, which you gave, I think, thank you note for your teacher, Nasreen Behan.
Nasreen Behan.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, you I'm sure person you are. I must say, you are with the students, you are with your colleagues, you are with your superiors, and you are with the parents, guiding everybody. And now you are open. I mean, the world is a platform for you to perform.
Yeah, actually, that was the reason to take this call. I had started feeling constrained because I wished to reach out to the people, and the profile that I was into, it was consuming so much of my time for administrative works that I felt that I am not being exploited to my full capacity. So this is a leap of faith that I have taken.
Amazing.
And you see that you have read the tribute to my teacher, Nasreen Behanji. The kind of people, those who have nurtured me, Nafisa, they have left an impact. What she has taught me, not in the language English, through her human qualities, her dedication, her going out of the call of duty. I owe a lot to my teacher. We had been nurtured by such good people.
Yes.
I owe a lot to her. I have to return back.
And you are doing that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I am into the
This is all because of the humbleness that you have. You're so much rooted to your grounds. Of course, you will fly high. I have complete faith.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I mean, really, you are a wonderful person. I felt very nice to interview you, you know. I mean, I'm overwhelmed.
Pleasure is mine also. Pleasure is mine also. Don't take it alone.
Yeah, sure. So, any note for my listeners? Anything you would like to, any message you would like to give them?
Yeah, sure. I would sure like to give the message. This message is for everyone. Go after your dreams unabashedly. And especially for young mothers. When you go after your dreams, please go after them. But be wise enough to invest in developing a robust support system at home. Invest in your relationships with extended family, with your in-laws, with your spouse, with your siblings. Because when you pursue your dream, you are pursuing your dream because of the support system from the back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Follow your dreams, but be wise to invest in your relationships. Then, since I am dealing more with the parents, and many of my listeners will definitely be parents too, so I have this one note also for them. Be available for your children, mind, body, and soul, whatever little time you can afford. When with children, your quality of time matters over quantity of time. We have seen many parents whole day available with the children, but doing actually, I would say, providing for the needs of the child is the duty and responsibility of any parent. But coaching your children, training your children for the life, which is often overlooked. The quality time is more important when you are with children. And one more important thing, as your children grow, for any parents, for any listener, those who are parents, and even if you are not parents, you are not alone at home, fine?
Yeah.
Involve people at home. If they are children, involve people for sure in household chores. Yeah. And when you are parents, ensure that you involve your children in household work. Feel no guilt about it.
Yeah,
it actually, feel no guilt about it.
Yes.
As the children grow, age appropriate work must be handed over to the children, and we must expect the work from the children. This, actually empowers children and prepares them for life. This is the most common mistake that the parents today are doing with the children. They are raising children like prince and princesses. That should not happen. That should not happen. And for this again applies to anybody. Keep some me time for yourself every day and devote that time to nurture yourself. Read, write, meditate, be out with good friends, talk to them like-minded people, whatever you love to do, but have some me time for yourself and make your health your priority. All aspects of your health, physical, social, emotional, financial, this should be your priority. And finally, last but not the least, don't worry much, chill out. Take life easy, one step at a time. And when you reflect back, sitting at my age, you see that you have done wonders.
Yeah. Yes.
Don't take much stress. Do what is right for you. Listen to your inner voice. It is always, impactful, and it is always true in most of the cases. Since we have chosen not to listen to our inner voice, it has stopped talking to us.
Yes.
Listen to your inner voice. Guts that we call. Most of the times they are right and they lead you into the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your lovely message for me and my listeners. I hope they would love, and I expect they will be messaging me. They do send voice messages to me once they learn
Yeah.
about the thing. If they love it, they do give me feedbacks about the things. So I do
Mhm.
expect. And this episode of mine
And
is
and Nafisa, I would love you to share with me too.
yeah, sure, definitely, I will. So,
Yeah.
like you talk about dreams, so I like to tell my listeners about a podcast fellow friend of mine. His
Mhm.
name is Somin Gupta. So he has a podcast channel which is by the name of Chase Your Dreams. You know,
Oh, that's so beautiful. Chase your
yeah,
dreams.
yeah, Chase Your Dream, and he has
By what's the name of your friend? Which you
Somin
said?
Sengupta.
Somin Sengupta.
Sengupta. Yeah, do listen to his
Yeah,
podcast.
of course I will. Somin
He
Sengupta, Chase
has
Your Dreams.
yeah dream. He has got guests from globally, I mean from all part of the world, and they come on his platform. They share their success stories, their failures, their hardships, everything. I mean, that podcast is so inspiring. Listening to so many different types. Sometimes
Yeah.
he has ocean riders, he has a combat soldier, a stand-up comedian. So
Yeah,
different
I know.
people, they come and share their dream stories. So that is
Yeah,
amazing.
I
I
so
strongly
I
recommend
so I'm
everybody.
sure I would love to listen to him. I
Yeah,
sure would
definitely.
listen to him. And actually, we ordinary people. Everybody's life has some unique stories, and all these stories must be shared with people.
Yeah,
Why?
exactly.
Because everybody is a hero. Everybody is a hero in the self.
Yeah.
Since nobody has ever heard my story, you don't know. And sharing story, what is the purpose of sharing stories with people? What I believe, it inspires others. As you said, it inspires
Exactly.
others. Such and such as means ordinary person could do so much. Why
Yes.
can't I? I'm
Yes.
also such an ordinary person. I can also do. And in that ordinariness, we are all extraordinary.
Yeah, this is said by Sadhguru. I remember he has said that do the things, we all are ordinary, but do it in such a way that you become extraordinary. So we all
Yeah,
are
yeah, of
extraordinary,
course.
unique people. Yeah,
Yeah, I do love, and I'm so enjoying talking to you.
me too. I mean, I am on seventh cloud, I must say. Yeah, it was amazing conversation with you. So I'll just be in touch with you. We will have some more sessions once.
Yeah, sure. Anytime you
Yeah,
wish me,
once you
I'll be
launch
here.
your book, I'll definitely will connect one more time, and keep doing the good work that you are doing.
Yeah,
And God
sure.
bless
And
you. God bless my listeners also. Yeah,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. And a big thank you to all the listeners, those who are listening to both of us. I would just share a quick link of all the things that I'm doing, if you permit.
yeah, sure, of course,
Yeah,
definitely.
for the parents and the listeners, those who are there, I upload a new video on parenting issue every week on my YouTube channel, Anju Arora, and I frequently write blogs. And follow my blog, Growing Up with Life on Blogger. And I write on the topics as I earlier told: education, teachers, parents, life issues, life skills, current issues. I write on that. And all updates are available on my Facebook page. Follow my Facebook handle. I go by the name Anju Arora there also. Thank you so much, everyone.
I'll put all these your links in my description also, so they can
All
get from
right.
there itself.
Yeah,
And apart
thank you
from
so
that,
much.
so friends, we are ending
Love.
the session, the
Yeah,
lovely talk session today.
yes. Thank you so much, Nafisa. It was an honor for me to be on your show,
Thank you so much.
on your talk rather, I must say.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for giving your such great values and input for my to my listeners and to me. I'm really overwhelmed with today's session. And yes, to
Pleasure
all
is all
my
mine.
yeah,
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much.
to
Thank you so
all my
much.
audience, stay happy, stay safe, always keep smiling, and God bless you all.